Michigan is moving a sweeping package of drone legislation through the state legislature, and it goes well beyond one narrow issue. The bills range from restrictions on foreign-made drones in public sector use to new limits on flights over public property, critical infrastructure, and other state-defined restricted zones. For commercial drone pilots and drone businesses, that means this is not just a state politics story. It could become a new compliance layer with real consequences for operations, contracts, enforcement, and who gets to compete in public sector work. In this video, I want to break down what this package could actually change, where it may create more clarity, where it may create more risk, and why parts of it could become a model for other states. The first thing to understand is that this is not one simple drone bill. It is a package, and that matters because the impact is different depending on which piece you are looking at. Some of these bills are really about operations, where drones can fly, what counts as a restricted area, what kind of penalties could apply. Some are about enforcement and infrastructure protection, and others are really about procurement, cybersecurity, and whether public agencies can keep buying and operating certain systems. That distinction matters because a lot of the headlines make this sound like one broad anti-drone move. It is more specific than that, and for businesses, some parts of it are a lot more important than others. Start with the operator side. One of the biggest proposed changes is a statewide restricted zone framework. In plain English, Michigan would be building its own map of places where drone operations could be restricted, including public property, critical infrastructure, and other covered locations. The package also points toward a required operator-facing app tied to that system. This is where commercial pilots should pay attention, because at that point, the issue is not just FAA compliance anymore. It becomes FAA compliance plus a state-layer operating framework. And that creates a very practical problem. If you are doing inspection work, utility work, telecom work, mapping, construction, or any other flight near public assets or infrastructure, you may now be dealing with a second set of restrictions that carries real penalties. That does not automatically mean the state is rewriting airspace law, but it does mean the day-to-day compliance picture could get more complicated very quickly. And this is where the enforcement conflict comes in. The more aggressive Michigan gets about state-defined restricted zones, geofencing, signage, and local infrastructure protections, the more likely operators are going to ask a basic question. Who is actually controlling the operational map here? Because the FAA already governs the national airspace system. So if a state starts creating its own de facto flight restriction layer, even if it is framed around land, facilities, or infrastructure, that can create confusion fast. That confusion is not theoretical. It matters in the field. A commercial operator does not just need a legal theory. They need to know whether a job can be flown, what system they need to check before launch, what exposure exists if the state map conflicts with the practical understanding of the federal framework, and how much risk they are taking on just by accepting certain kinds of work. That is why I think the biggest operator concern here is not simply more rules. It is the risk of unclear rules, overlapping rules, and criminal exposure tied to that overlap. Now shift to the business side because that may be the bigger story. Parts of this package are aimed directly at public sector procurement and public sector drone use, especially where foreign-made systems are involved. That matters not just for agencies, but for manufacturers, dealers, integrators, and service providers who sell into government work. If Michigan moves further in that direction, the signal is clear. Public procurement may increasingly depend on where systems come from, what lists they are tied to, how data is handled, and whether vendors can meet more demanding cybersecurity and compliance requirements. And for businesses, that is a much bigger issue than one state headline. Because once procurement standards tighten, the market starts changing around them. Dealers may need different product mixes. Integrators may need cleaner documentation. Contractors may need to prove more about security, storage, software, and supply chain exposure. And companies that are built around public safety, state, local, or education customers may find that compliance becomes a bigger differentiator than price. This is the part that could absolutely set precedent beyond Michigan. Not necessarily the most aggressive flight restriction ideas. Those are the parts most likely to create conflict and pushback. But the procurement model, the public sector restrictions, the cybersecurity expectations, that is exactly the kind of framework other states could look at and say, we can do that too. So does this package help clarify operations, or does it create more risk and confusion? The most honest answer is both. On the procurement side, it may actually create more clarity. It gives manufacturers, dealers, and contractors a clearer signal about where public sector buying standards may be heading. But on the operations side, especially if the package leans hard into state-managed restricted zones, app-based compliance, and aggressive enforcement around infrastructure and public property, it risks creating more uncertainty for commercial pilots, not less. And that is the real story here. Michigan is not just debating drones in the abstract. It is testing how far a state can go in building its own drone compliance layer across operations, enforcement, procurement, and public sector use. Some of that may become a model. Some of it may create legal and operational friction. But either way, this is the kind of package commercial pilots and drone businesses should be watching closely, because the downstream effects could reach well beyond Michigan. The bottom line is simple. If this moves forward in anything close to its current form, it may be a slower shift toward more layered compliance, more procurement screening, and more operational uncertainty near public assets and critical infrastructure. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more clear, fact-based drone analysis.